Are you a racist?
You can't call me or any black person any place in the world a racist. We don't have the power to do to white people what white people have done to us. And even if we did, we don't have that low-down, dirty nature.
Can black people be racist?
You can be prejudiced.
But racist?
But racist is not that's a system, it's an ideology, it's about power. So you can definitely be prejudiced, and racist is a whole nother thing.
Hello my wonderful people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So if you've been on social media, you've probably seen the debate. Can black people really be racist? Well, some say no because racism is about power and systems, while others say yes because discrimination is discrimination, no matter who it comes from. But now, there's another twist to this conversation. There's a woman out here saying that black people are actually the cause of racism. So before we have this conversation, let's take a look at some of these videos first.
That's why people say black people racist. Black people can't be racist. Yeah. Racism is complete domination and control over resources, opportunities, and privileges. Black people don't control no resources. You don't control no opportunities. And you don't control no privileges, so you can't be racist. Can you be a bigot? Hell yeah. Racism is discrimination times power. You got to have the power to impact people.
So, man, black people can be racist. And don't just hear this from me. Let's take a look at the definition of racism. Racism does not only use one race. So doesn't quite make sense. And for example, all right, so people say, oh, it's racist if you call a black person the N-word. But then also it's racist, and TikTok, please don't take this out. I'm only using this word for this purpose. If I call a white person a cracker or a coon, which some people use, that's being racist because I'm giving them a name based just off their race. And saying that black people can't be racist is kind of like putting them at a superior place, saying that, oh, since I'm black, I can't be racist, but everybody else can't. See what I mean?
To your point about black people being racist towards you, can they be bigoted? Absolutely. Xenophobic? For sure. Prejudicial? Of course. But racist? No. The concept of racism is a symptom of whiteness. And black people don't hold any power when it comes to those dominant structures. We typically don't have the finances to oppress you financially, nor in any other socio-economical capacity. So black people potentially telling you to speak English or go back to your own country is a symptom of the sickness. It is not the cold. So now, I will never negate your real life and lived experience because that is very important and poignant to the conversation. I will just also add that this is why on my platform, I spread awareness about why it is required for us as people, as a human race, as a community, to learn each other culturally.
Can people of color be racist? Absolutely. Sorry, this is just a fact to me. There's different types of racism. There's systematic and systemic racism. That's the racism that black people experience in America, for example, due to slavery. But then there's individual derogatory racism or generalized racism between two groups of color. In other words, POCs being racist to one another. One of the saddest things I've ever seen, but it sadly happens. Take it from somebody who is both Nigerian, but also has a mom who is Asian American. I love both of these communities. There is a little bit of racism between the two in some areas. The Asian American community towards the black community in America, and vice versa. They don't always get along. These are because of preconceived notions and previous judgments, and a lot of it, unfortunately, is perpetuated by both patriarchy and racism initiated by white individuals. But your question still remains, and my answer still stands. Yes, black people can be racist to others. Asian Americans can be racist to others. Hispanic individuals can be racist to others. Racism, systematically and systemically, is against POCs. But on an individual level, anyone can be racist.
Black people cannot be racist. Here's why. Word ism means system, yet nowhere in the definition of racism itself does the word system exist. That was on purpose, so we don't acknowledge racism for the larger system that it actually is. Racism cannot be exercised without power, which should also be in all of the definitions. The word race itself was made up by racist white people in the 16th century to categorize and oppress people. That was the only reason it was created, and therefore race is not real, and even more so, individual racism isn't real.
Can black people be racist? A favorite tactic of white supremacists is to call black people racist for speaking about race in a way that makes them uncomfortable. According to Merriam-Webster, racism essentially has two definitions. First, your garden variety racism, the belief that one race is genetically superior to another. The reality is that it would be highly unlikely in the world in which we live for a black person to harbor the belief that their race is inherently superior. Whiteness tends to be generally celebrated in many cultures, while blackness is often reviled. Many black people spend a lifetime trying to unlearn these preconceptions of the inferiority of their race. If a black person says something about a white person that comes off negatively, they're usually speaking from a place of hurt or trauma rather than the inherent belief that they are genetically superior to white people.
Some people say black people can't be racist because racism isn't just about personal bias, it's about systemic power. And they argue that since black people don't control institutions that enforce racial oppression, we can be prejudiced but not racist. But then others completely disagree. They argue that racism is racism, period. And if someone mistreats another person based on race, that is racism, regardless of historical power structures.
I'm gonna hurt some feelings with this one, but we have the black community to blame for racism still existing. Even though we didn't create racism, we are the reason why we're still oppressed. The black community is very picky choosy. As soon as white people do something racist towards black people, we are quick to speak up about it. But when black people are doing harm to their own community, it's silent. Just in case you've been living under a rock. The black community is colorist, texturist, featurist, transphobic, homophobic, misogynistic. I mean, we accept pedophiles in our homes. Yet we've normalized all those issues in our own community. And then we're delusional enough to think we're able to fight racism while our community is so divided. I hate to be the one to say it, but y'all need to hear it. The black community needs to start taking accountability. You guys are way too silent about the issues in our own community. Very quick to ignore it and sometimes perpetuate it. That is why the black community has gone nowhere and why we will continue to get nowhere. Y'all want change? Y'all want racism to end? It starts with us coming together. But we cannot come together. We continue to live in a society where we've normalized black people only fighting for certain black lives. Emphasis on certain black lives. You cannot say Black Lives Matter and exclude gay black lives, or dark-skinned women, or women with 4C hair, or women with Afrocentric features. That's not how it works. You stand for the whole community. You have to have M&Ms for brain cells to think that we can overcome racism with how our community looks right now. Start holding other black people accountable. Start having those conversations about the issues in our community. The quicker we do that, the quicker we can solve it. The quicker we can come together and take our power back. But it starts with y'all. Sorry, not sorry.
Now, she's saying racism isn't just something done to us, but something we also contribute to because of colorism, division, and self-hate within our own communities. First of all, black people did not create racism. They didn't create the systems, neither did they create the rules. But do we have internal issues? Absolutely. Colorism exists. Sometimes we do tear each other down. But let's not pretend that this means we caused racism. That's not how this works. But what I know for sure, we have a responsibility for how we treat each other. And yes, we can't always control what's been done to us, but we can control how we move forward. So, after saying all this, what do you all think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more trending discussions. See you in the next one.